before and after. That's a really big difference. By following the steps in this video, you'll be able to optimize your own website and skyrocket your WordPress speed. Before we dive into the fixes, let me show you 3 third-party tools that we'll be using to measure our page speed. The first one is of course PageSpeed Insight, so paste in your URL over here and press on Analyze. The next one is the Pingdom website speed test, so again paste it in and press on Start Test. And finally, we're also going to use GT metrics, so put it in over there and press on Analyze. Alright, on mobile we see 41, which is not good, and we can see why. First contentful paint and the largest contentful paint, 13 seconds. That's really slow. Well, we're gonna fix that in this video, so hold on if you also have the same problems. If you go to desktop, you also see an 81, and basically because of the largest contentful paint. And we got a 74 and 1.34 seconds low speed with the Pingdom website speed test. That's not that good. Finally, GT metrics, we have a C with a 63% in performance, which is not good. And also if we scroll down, we can see why. And then again, we can see first contentful paint and the largest contentful paint takes a lot of time. Fully loaded time, 3 seconds. Wow. I'm gonna show you how we can work with all these tools in just a minute. First, let's log into our WordPress website. If you're still logging in using WP Admin, that's not a very safe way. So please watch my tutorial about how to secure your WordPress website because you don't want to get hacked. Before we optimize, we need to do some house cleaning. Head over to Appearance and then go to Themes. Over the years, WordPress tends to pile up these default themes. It's unnecessary bloat. While it won't instantly make your website fly, keeping things lean is just a good practice. Keep your active theme safe. Don't touch this one. By the way, if you see a child theme that is a child of a different theme, don't delete those 2 themes. You need the child theme and the main theme of that child theme, right? You know what I mean? Don't delete them, but you can delete the rest. But for the rest, it's time to say goodbye. Just click on a theme and click over here on delete and press on OK. Now this is already way better. Next up, let's tackle our plugins. Go to plugins, installed plugins. And let's take an honest look at this list. Do you really need every single one of these plugins? We're going to start by cleaning out the deactivated ones. To do that, just go over here to inactive, select them all over here and press on delete and use apply. Press OK and it's time to say bye-bye. All of these plugins are just taking up space. If you're unsure about a plugin, try deactivating it first and check your site to see if anything breaks. Well, that's of course a way to do it. You could also just ask your developer, or if you create your website yourself, to see where did I use it again for? Just keep in mind, poorly coded plugins are the #1 cause of a slow site. It's not exactly the amount of plugins, it's more the quality of it. And a pro tip, if you're using heavy tools like WPML for translations, be careful. This one is notorious for dragging down your performance. I would suggest use TranslatePress. You can see an entire tutorial over there and I'll guide you through the entire process. One language is completely free. Let's make sure that you only have the essential plugins in here that you actually need. For example, this Yoast duplicate post, I actually don't need it anymore, so I'm going to deactivate it and then I'm going to delete it. Once we have completed this basic task, it's time to use a caching plugin. I have used a lot of caching plugins and made tutorials about them, but I still keep getting back to one of them, which is basically my favorite and it works like a charm. If you want to help me out so I can keep feeding my family and create these awesome videos for you guys, go to wp.discount/cash. You won't pay any more, but I get a small commission if you use this link, so I will be forever grateful. And we are at the website of WP Rocket. Now they don't have any free version of the plugin, but they do have the multi, plus and single license. Again, one website, 3 websites, or well, 50, 100 or 500 websites. I personally have a very big license because of all my clients are running this and I'm very happy with it. But I don't know how much license you need. Don't worry, you also get a 100% money back guarantee if it doesn't work within 14 days of your purchase. You get all your money back if something happens or you're not satisfied. All right, just choose the license you want, fill in all your information over here. Then you can pay with a credit card or with PayPal and press over here on place order. Then you are immediately logged into WP Rocket and you click over here on download WP Rocket. Then before we're going to install it, click over here and make sure that the Rocket Insights recommendations is turned on. Then on your website, go to plugins and press on add plugin. Then we're going to press on upload plugin and select the file we've just downloaded from WP Rocket. Press on install now and of course don't forget to press on activate. Excellent job. From now on you can go to settings WP Rocket, or in the top bar there's also a WP Rocket. You can go to settings. Let's go there right now. Alright, we have a lot of information boxes over there. We can close them, but I want to address the Rocket CDN. If you do have clients and visitors from all over the world, a CDN is probably a very smart way to deliver your content to a server close to your target audience. That also saves a lot of page speed. If you have that, make sure to check that one out. I'm going to close it right now, close this one, and press over here on yes, allow or no thanks, whatever you want. All right, let's close it. Well done, it's already working for us, but I'm going to walk you through all these settings to really set up our website the right way and to make sure that nothing breaks along the way. If you can see over here, the Rocket Insights score is now already 100. If you click over here, the first one, you can see that the tracked page, the home page, is already on score 1. Now the home page is very nice, but you really want to track all your landing pages, for example, that needs to score high in the LLMs and the search engines. Also make sure to put them in over there. I want to monitor this page, /English/combat, because we're going to combat those woodworms. And then you can just add in the page, press over here. So this way we can track our pages on our WordPress website just within the WordPress environment. Now, the great thing about this is that it uses GTmetrix, as it is the same company. So you know exactly what the scores will be before you've even tested it with third-party tools. All right, you have also the performance monitoring. Enable automatic performance testing for your pages. You can use daily, weekly, or monthly. If you want this is very interesting. Press on Save Changes. Maybe it's still in development, but I really want to have a widget on my dashboard. So when I open up my WordPress dashboard, bam, that is the first thing that I see. I would love that. Let's go back to WP Rocket to the settings. And now we start optimizing our entire website. Go over here to the file optimization, CSS and JavaScript. In this case, the minify CSS files and optimize CSS delivery should be turned on. Press on activate, remove it. It could break things. So the next thing is what you need to do is go fetch your website and see if it works. If you're using, for example, like page builders or something, you can also use load CSS asynchronously. I would prefer remove unused CSS because it's just better, because you just strip away the extra CSS from your website, which is better than still loading it in a different way. Well, I'm going to remove it and see what happens to our website. Scroll down, we also want to minify JavaScript files. Definitely combine them also into one. It saves a lot of time to download your JavaScript files. But remember, this also can break your website. So press activate it, and then we scroll down. We want to load JavaScript deferred, but also we want to delay JavaScript's execution. Very powerful, just make sure that everything still works. Now, when you use the delay JavaScript's execution, you might notice that some elements in the viewport take way too long to appear. For example, if you're heavily depending on ad networks, make sure to click this one, and here you can just exclude them from the JavaScript execution delaying. No problem there, just select the one you want. In this case, I usually use the compliance plugins like CookieBot and all these things to exclude them from the delaying JavaScript. All right, once you're done, press over here on Save Changes. This is also a good moment in time to really check the front end of your website. But before you do, you have to wait another 76 seconds before you do. And if we do, we're going to test it in an incognito screen. So we're going to open up our website, right click and open it in a private window or open it in an incognito screen. This way, you know for sure what your visitors are seeing when they open up your website. Everything is in place, nothing out of the ordinary, all the buttons work, everything is still there. That's what I like about WP Rocket, it just works. We go over here to media and we're going to lazy load images, CSS background images, and iframes and videos. And we're also going to replace a YouTube iframe with a preview image. This saves a lot of time in loading. Now, lazy loading is basically a technology when someone opens up your page, you will see above the fold and below the fold. So below the fold is when someone needs to scroll down. Now, those images will only load in below the fold if someone is scrolling down. Until that time, none of these images will be loaded in. So that saves us a bunch of time, especially when loading it with slow internet connections. So this is really great. Then we scroll down and we're going to fix missing width and height attributes for your images. So enable that one. Fonts, also you want to preload them, and you definitely want to self-host Google Fonts because it saves a lot of connections to external servers, minimizes font shifts. All these things are great, so just make sure to enable those ones and press on Save Changes. Then we go over here to preloading and we want to activate preloading and link preloading also. Great, just keep those both on. Then we go to advanced rules. Here you can change the cache lifespan. 10 is default, so if you don't run a news website that is changing every single hour, I would keep it on 10 hours or maybe even more, like 2 days. It just completely depends on how often are you changing the content of your website. For simple brochure website and you never change it, keep it on 7 days. If you work with news, keep it on 1 hour or maybe half an hour. I don't know what your website is. If you have, for example, an e-commerce website with WooCommerce or SureCart, those URLs are already automatically put in over there. Like your cart should never be cached. A checkout page should never be cached. So all those things should be in here. If you have certain pages that you don't want to cache manually, also you can just add them in. Never cache a certain type of cookies. Again, if you have e-commerce, it's already been filled out, and user agents should be great. Here we can manually add in a URL that you want to purge always when you save any kind of page or post inside of your entire WordPress website. It could be useful if you have like a blog and there are different kind of category pages, and you also want to purge those caches because it will change when you change your content. Just add them in over here and it should be great. Also the cache for query strings. If you don't use query strings or you don't know what it is, keep it empty, you'll be good. If you're a developer, you know exactly what you should do over here. Press on Save Changes. Then we're going to optimize our database, which is very important because your database is kind of a big closet with all kind of drawers in it and all kind of files in it. If someone opens up your website, opens up a page or a post, the website has to go really fast through all these drawers to find the right files and give them to your visitor. Now, that's great, but the bigger the drawer is, the bigger your closet becomes, the more time it will take for the database to get the right stuff. Bloated databases are not that good. So what you can do, you can clean all your revisions, your auto draft and your trashed post, spam comments and trashed comments, but also transients, temporary options from themes or plugins you've already removed. And we can also optimize our tables. Now, remember, before doing this, you should really have a backup in place for your hosting company or manually, because, you know, all these tools with interfering with the database can, in theory, break your entire site. I've never encountered that with WP Rocket, but it is theoretically possible. So make sure you have a backup, and then we click over here on Save Changes and Optimize. Now, if you have a blog or an e-commerce site, it might be interesting to schedule automatic cleanup, to do it, for example, every single month. But if you just have a brochure website, nothing fancy, just you don't need this at all. All right, then we go on the left side to CDN. You only need a CDN if you're serving your files and your content to visitors from all over the world and your server is just somewhere in the Netherlands and your target audience is in America and also in Europe and also in Asia, then a CDN is the best choice for you. It's not that expensive, $8 a month, and if you have yearly, you get even discounts, so that could be interesting for you. I'm not going to use this on this website, but if you already have a CDN, you can also enable it and put it in manually if you have another CDN than WP's Rocket CDN. That's also a possibility. I'm not going to do it because for this website, we only target our audience in the Netherlands, so you don't need this. And then we go to the next one, which is the heartbeat. Now, by default, the control heartbeat is on and the activity has been reduced for the backend post editor and the front end. What does this do? Well, basically, if you are editing a post, and it will autosave every 2 minutes now, from 1 minute to every 2 minutes. Disabling, you can disable it entirely. It will save some server activity, but basically it can also break some themes and plugins. So I would suggest to keep it on reduced. All right, scroll down and then we go over here to add-ons. Here we have a bunch of one-click Rocket add-ons. For example, user cache. If you have user-specific or restricted content on your website, like a forum, people can log in, like a blog, people can log in, make sure to enable this add-on. Varnish, if you have run Varnish on your server, the only way to really notice is go to your hosting company and see if they have that. Make sure to enable this add-on. I don't have this for this website, so I'm gonna keep it off. Then we also have WebP compatibility. If you have a plugin that changes all the images to the WebP format, which is really great, it's automatically detected and you can just enable this add-on. But basically it's already enabled them. So I'm not having that, so I just scroll down. Now, if you're using Cloudflare or Securi, make sure to enable these add-ons. If you don't have that, no problem, we just go to the next one. Now, developers of WP Rocket also have this Imagify plugin, which is extremely great to use on your own website. So we're going to install that over here. And immediately this has been activated on our website, which is great. Now, let me show you that in just a couple of seconds. First, we're going to round this up in WP Rocket. If you go to Tools over here, at the Tools section, you can export and import your settings, roll back to a previous version, or update inclusion and exclusion list. Really great. Then we go to the next one, which is tutorials, but you are watching to the best tutorial out there on the internet, so make sure to hit the like and leave a comment. If you do that, I will be forever grateful. And then we can see WP Rocket has even more plugins like Rank Math, which I've created an extensive tutorial over here. You can check it out, and I've created even more tutorials because I really like the Rank Math SEO suite. All right, they also have Back WP Up, Termly, and of course Imagify. Now I've walked you through all the options of WP Rocket, and if all is good, our scores should be hugely improved already before we even touching Imagify. I'm going to show you Imagify in just a second. So what do I do over here? I go to PageSpeed Insight, I copy this one, open up a new tab and paste it in over there. And then I'm going to press on Analyze again. Then I'm going to do the same with tools.pingdom. I'm going to copy this one, open up a new tab, paste it in over there. I'm going to rerun the test. And with GTmetrix also the same, and I'm going to press on retest. Let's start with Pingdom website test. This is the original, and this is now the test. Performance 94, not bad at all. Look at that load time. It's way better than what it was, so that's great. All right, perfect. Now we are at GTmetrix, the original test. As you can see, you have to look at the performance, and the largest contentful paint are most of the time the toughest cookies to crack. So let's go to the latest performance report. Now it's 94% and 1.4 second. We can still improve that. I'm going to show you a bit how you can work with GTmetrix to fix that. And last but not least, PageSpeed Insight, a performance of 41 and on desktop 81. So let's go with the new one, 96 on mobile and 100 performance on desktop. Now I'm going to teach you how to improve it even further. If you go over here to GTmetrix, we can see all of these things. If you look at the speed visualization, you can see there's nothing here. Time to first byte is almost 1 second. That is pretty slow, and it has to do with your DNS and your hosting company. So okay, we could improve that. But then we have the next one. So you can see this one, 1 second, 1.2, 1.5. You can see an image. That's interesting. So if you click on waterfall, it all makes more sense. You can see over here, this is the time to first byte. It's blocking DNS lookup and connecting, and the SSL that takes us the most time. So you can improve this, but this is all on your server level. How you can improve that? Well, basically switching hosting companies who do the job and make sure that your DNS is also optimized for speed. But those are all technical things we cannot improve from the WordPress side of the website. But then we go next and we can see the next one is this image, sandertest4.png. This image takes up almost half a second. Now that will definitely delay your first contentful paint, so it's time to fix that also. After this, you go back to summary and you can see the top issues over here. We can see that these serve images in next-gen formats. So this is the first one we're going to tackle with Imagify. So go back to your WordPress website, and from here we're gonna sign up with Imagify because it's completely free. Enter in our email address and press on sign up. Then open up your email and you can see over here the API key. So let's copy this one. Then we press on OK and press on this button. I have my API key, paste it in over there and press connect me. Congratulations, and press on OK. All right, then we go to our settings. Now Imagify is a really powerful plugin that enables you to optimize all your images on your website, and it goes completely automatically. Also, it's really nice that you can auto-optimize images on the upload, which is really great if you're uploading regularly new images. All right, if we scroll down, we can see the optimization. Which one do you want to use, Aviv or WebP? I would go with WebP for high compatibility, and Aviv is superior compression. All right, let's go to WebP. And then we scroll down over here. Here you can change which sizes to be updated by Imagify. This will impact on your credits. Basically what this means is when you upload an image to WordPress, it will change it to thumbnails, medium, large. All these files will be automatically created inside of your website. If you don't use these sizes and you only use the original size, just click over here on select all. This will save you a bunch of credits and you might be able to optimize all your images for free with Imagify. All right, well, all the other settings are just great. So we scroll down and we press and save and go to bulk optimizer. Here we can see the overview of all the images that we have done. Now, if I look to my media library, you can see there's not a lot of images, only 38 images. If you have like hundreds and hundreds of them, then the free plan will not be sufficient for you, but you can just start for free and see how it goes. So scroll down and press on Imagify them all. There we go. Start the optimization. Now it's just a matter of time. While we wait on Imagify, you can also go over here to WP Rocket, go to your settings. On the right side, you could see the Rocket Insight score. It's also over here. What I like about the newest version of WP Rocket is the Rocket Insight score and especially the recommendations. You can see Imagify is being recommended because it has an impact on largest contentful page and the content layout shift. So yes, we have activated over there, so that's already great. And they also suggest us to use a CDN because that has a lot of impact on the largest contentful page. Another nice integration of WP Rocket is within the post, Rocket Insight over there, and also with your pages. You can see the Rocket Insight and you can test the page or view the details while you're inside of the page, which is, I think, pretty nice. Let's get back to Imagify and check the status here. Oh, we have used already all our credits. Okay, we have only optimized 23 of our images. That's great, and you have just saved 7 MB out of 14 MB. Well, that's 50%, so that's not bad at all. All right, Imagify is done, so let's test it again and see our scores. Time for the results. Let's start with Pingdom first. We had the 94 and 290 milliseconds. Now we are at 98 and 180 milliseconds, and the page size has dropped to 1.4 MBs. Not bad at all. And there we go with GG metrics from an A94 1.4 seconds to an whoa! Now this is what I'm talking about. Look at this, 100%, 100, This is great. If you don't believe me, guys, I can share this link inside of the description of this video, or you can just retest it. Make sure to use the right server, because that was what I did wrong. And on PageSpeed Insight, the results are now 96 and on desktop a 100. I really like these scores on desktop. They're just perfect. I'm very happy with these results. Now, if you're also really happy with the results, drop it down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. And if I can help you out, also put it down. I always reply. Like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.